Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Odin's movie vlog. I am the critic who is a cynic. Hope you're doing well. And today, we're once again talking about the Joker because I am just so freaking hyped for this film. And now that some movie reviewers that I really trust, as far as their overall opinions of films goes, Chris Stuckman and especially Jeremy Jahns have now released their own reviews for this film and have both glowed about how great this film is and really have fought against this nonsense that's being pushed by many people in the media about how toxic the film is and how it pushes for violence, etc., which obviously even us who have not seen the film yet could know is complete and utter garbage. I will say this much. All of the things that have been coming out of director Todd Phillips since all of this stuff started going down has been absolutely freaking amazing. Now, this is a guy that is probably on the left side of things. This is probably a guy that's a little bit more of the liberal side of things. But guess what? That's okay because it's very apparent by how he's speaking about the film that his politics have no role to play in the film itself. So much so that he is calling out the nonsense not just of the far left, not just of the SJWs, but now even calling out Hollywood itself, and that all the things that they've been pushing, especially over the last 10 years, has actually ruined several films, especially comedies. And so let's go ahead and dive into this article from Jorge Arenas over at Bounding the Comics, where it says, Joker director Todd Phillips took aim at woke Hollywood in a new interview promoting his upcoming film starring Joaquin Phoenix. Phillips spoke with the Vanity Fair about the new woke Hollywood culture that led him to creating and working on the Joker film. He specifically notes Hollywood new woke culture led to the dismissal of his irrelevant comedies like Old School and The Hangover. Phillips told them, go try to be funny nowadays with this woke culture. There were articles written about why comedies don't work anymore. I'll tell you why, because all the effing funny guys are like, F this crap because I don't want to offend you. It's hard to argue with 30 million people on Twitter. You just can't do it, right? So you should just go, I'm out, and you know what? And I really honestly think that is going to be the position of a lot of people. Why would someone want to try to push the edge? Why would someone want to try and make a comedy, especially with the current climate, current culture that we're currently in, where any single person can be torn down not just for things they say today, but even things that they said a long time ago? Bringing up, of course, Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart was supposed to host the Oscars. Would have been a really great choice to host them because he is a universally well-liked person. People like him whether they're on the right, on the left, whether they're white or black. It doesn't matter. He is a universally liked person. That means obviously not everyone's going to like him, but most people do. And yet, what did he get teared down for? He got torn down for making jokes that were obviously jokes. I mean, I'm sorry if you're going to honestly try and say that him saying, I'm going to put a dollhouse and slam it on my child's head. If you don't think that's a joke, then I think there's something obviously wrong with you. But the fact that you say, oh, it's a joke, but it's not funny because we shouldn't joke about that anymore, is just stupid and absolutely ridiculous. Again, there are certain things that obviously can be joked about and are fine, but there are some things that I think do go too far. And I know that not everyone agrees with me there. I do think that there is a line. That's why I go back, for example, and I still stand by my comments that I made about the whole James Gunn situation. I thought the comments that were being made there were going a little bit too far because it wasn't clear that it was a joke. There was no punchline, right? There was no clear indication of such. And a wide variety of, again, I've already covered those things in videos from a long time ago. So I still stand by that. I think that sometimes people go too far, but especially when it comes to actual direct comedy in movies, in actual comedy specials, which obviously is not exactly what happened with the James Gunn situation, I think that we need to be a little bit more understanding that people can still say jokes about a wide variety of things. I think that the Dave Chappelle special is a great example of that. He makes fun of everyone. It's either you can make fun of everyone or you can't make fun of anyone at all. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to live in a world where you can't make fun of someone for something. I don't want to live in a world where you can't joke about most things because you might offend somebody. That is going to lead to a very dangerous part of our culture where eventually your comments get to the point where it becomes illegal. There are some countries right now where you can't say certain jokes or certain things because it is not protected speech. I don't ever want to live in that world. I think that there is a line, which is why even here in the United States, if you yell fire at a movie theater, bomb on an airplane, etc., you are most likely going to get in trouble for it, and rightly so, because your language is inciting some type of chaotic response. I do think that there can be a line that's drawn, But this is obviously not what's going on here. And so I think that Todd Phillips is dead on here calling out freaking woke Hollywood. In fact, Vulture wrote an article about the subject which argued a lot of comedies over the last few years aren't funny, and there are no signs of things getting any funnier. They also argued comedians and comedy writers are increasingly pushing the bounds of what it means for something to be a comedy in the most basic sense, rewiring the relationship between comedies and jokes. So what is comedy without jokes? It's post-comedy. What is comedy without jokes? Post-comedy. It's not comedy at all. If there aren't jokes and it's not funny, then I'm sorry, you can't really call it comedy. This is reminding me of the terrible crap we've been getting on Netflix, for example. I still forget the name of the person, but she gave a special where she said no jokes whatsoever. It was a complete crazy rant all about wokeness, and it wasn't funny at all, and yet it had got almost 100% rating from Rotten Tomatoes critics, even though it wasn't funny. And it was supposed to be a comedy special. This is the world that we live in today. We live in this post-comedy world where for some reason people like to try and push political agendas and political points as being the true new age of comedy, even though that, again, goes in the face of what comedy is supposed to be. So I fully stand by Todd Phillips here. I fully stand by also everything that's going on with the Joker because it just looks like a damn good film, and tomorrow cannot come soon enough. I got my 7 o'clock show to the Big D showing. I don't even know what that is, but it's a format. I would assume it's going to be an IMAX ripoff. The Big D format at my local AMC for Joker, and I cannot wait. So Todd Phillips also at one point said this: with all my comedies, I think that what comedies in general all have in common is they are irreverent. So I go, how do I do something irreverent but F comedy? Oh, I know. Let's take the comic book universe, turn it on its head with this. And so that's really where that came from. So I think it's interesting that one of the main motivations for him taking up this project and doing this project the way that he apparently is doing it is by basically being influenced by this against comedy culture that we currently live in. So in a lot of ways, you could almost say that without woke culture, without wokeness, we might not have gotten the Joker film. So for all I know, after I see the movie, I could say, hey, guess what? At least woke culture did something right for a change. But I think all of us can pretty much stand by what he says up here, that where can we be in our current world, in our current society, if we can't simply sit back and enjoy a movie? If every single thing has to constantly be political, every single thing has to have some agenda attached to it, we can't survive. We cannot survive if that is indeed what's going to be the case. And so I fully support this dude right here. And again, there's probably a lot of things that I disagree with this guy on, but as long as he's going to be calling out woke culture, as long as he's going to be calling out woke Hollywood, as long as he is going to be standing up for his film and the rights of filmmakers to push the boundaries of the psychological profiles that movies like Joker seem to be doing, then I'm going to have his back on this one. So let me know your thoughts about this. Do you have your ticket to the Joker yet? If not, why the hell not? If you were not interested beforehand, think about supporting this film, because I honestly think that this is a film that deserves support, and especially when you have someone like this, you have a director like this, calling out the nonsense going on in Hollywood right now, that also should merit your support as well. Even if you have no interest in the film, at least support this dude right here, so that way we can get more films like this that push against the crazy narratives of the SJW left. So let me know your thoughts about this and all the things that we talked about in the comment section below. If you like this video, smash the like button, give me a subscribe, it helps me out a lot. You're all amazing and beautiful people. Have a wonderful day, and as always, God bless.